Hello my dear Taurus, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between March 1st and March 15, 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I have put astrological information for the month of March in a video of its own that you can check out in my playlist Q&A. You can also find it at my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se, where you can also find and buy all the decks I'm using in this video, or take part of my prescription service. That's also a possibility. Okay, so for this reading I used the Modern Spellcasters Tarot by Melanie Marquise and illustrated by Scott Murphy, and I will start shuffling your cards. So when I open your deck here, I see a little Page of Wands and Eight of Swords. So it seems like your dreams are being tied up. Maybe you are longing for something, but you don't see the possibility in the order that the world is, or your circumstances in your life. So this longing comes from your soul, and the Eight of Swords is the resistance that's going to make it a challenge, unfortunately, but it's the way the conditions is arranged at Earth. It's supposed to be a challenge. You're supposed to learn a lot of things. It's not just for your amusement, it's also for your teaching. So I call the divine with love and light. And here we have the King of Cups with the Eight of Swords. So King of Cups can be a Scorpio person, Cancer or Pisces in your life. It can also show that your needs to heal on the road to your great dream. It might also talk about soulmate situation, or getting to finding your soul family. And this might be what you're longing for, but it seems hard. Okay, so I call the four archangels in the four corners of the world. And here we have the King of Pentacles together with the King of Cups. So this might be you and another person. It also might be different parts of you. It might be also a Taurus, another Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo person in your life. But it's two kings. Kings are talking about that you are on a completion. You're about to complete something, Taurus. You're about to do something that's going to make your life more prosperous with these kings. And it's the feminine king. Earth and water is the feminine element, so it's very luscious and abundant. I call the six elements: earth, wind, fire, Queen of Pentacles, fire, water, spirit, and ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Taurus viewers. So you had the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, and also 10 of Wands there. So it's King and Queen of Pentacles usually talking about either a work situation, a living arrangement situation, or a marriage or a committed love relationship, where with the 10 of Wands it might be like a too big a burden on you, or too big a responsibility, or maybe people are not communicating that well. Okay, so I want my dear Taurus yes, those to have love in your life and to find yourself in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. We had a jumper, Empress. That's also a card for Taurus. It's something very fertile. It's something that's unique for you that wants to take place. You're probably supposed to, you know, put your mark on the world. You came here with some abilities, so show it. It might also be that you have found the one, and can also talk about problems with giving or receiving, or probably mostly with receiving. Sometimes it can be also mother issues. If we didn't have got enough love, what we needed from our mothers, we might have problems with receiving from Earth at large. Okay, so I will just tune in to your energy, Taurus, and to your reading here for a few seconds. Put myself to rest here. Okay. So my dear Taurus, this is your future there, and this is your now there, and this is the past. So in the past we have the Hierophant. That's also a card for Taurus. It's more the masculine side of Taurus. It's the Buddha, but it's also the merchandiser. In our society right now, we have more of the merchandiser than the Buddha. People are more out to get money and to become rich than becoming happy and enlightened and happy within, like without any outward thingies. So there's a tension in this card. It's about power and control, and how you can be totally free from power and control by being fully content with your inside and becoming enlightened. So therefore the Buddha and the merchandiser. And here we have, and that's also with you, Taurus, you are both the Buddha and the merchandiser. Sometimes often you are a very spiritual person, and what I've seen for many years now is that you sometimes have a problem with money, and that's because you once were the merchandiser, and you have learned that this was the wrong thing to do. So you're actually like weighing on the other option of society right now, like being more into poverty promises and things like this. And I think this is the road you also want to lead the rest of us, but you don't have to be poor, you don't have to live like in scarcity, so you also need to live, allow yourself to live, okay? And here with the Eight of Swords, we have the holy cow there in the background, and also this fire. So it's like you're living accordingly with some old moral soul contracts. It's the same for Leo. We know that Leo is this sign always in the circle of like attention and being the partial ruler, but Leo has big problems with this and trying to make them into small pussycats. And it's the same with you. You can be rich in abundance and still be the Buddha, but you have probably made promises. You have seen the consequences, as Leo has seen the consequences of ruling. You have seen the consequences of money in many lifetimes. So you have probably tried to master this side of you, and therefore you have become maybe on the other end of the the pendulum. So you're now becoming, you have more problems with money, and you really are the most abundant sign, and you have this cow as the symbol, and that's the basic for economy. It's nature being the mother that can produce like the future. So imagine whatever you can imagine, it comes from the earth. So, and it's multiplying. Cars can't make little car babies, but a cow can have babies. So you are the basic for economy, as Leo are the basic for rulership, but you have all forgotten who you are because you have tried to be good. And it was a good thing. You have done this, you have worked on your karma. So, but now it's time to balance, balance this up and become your true you, to also be able to live in abundance and still be spiritual, okay? So, Six of Pentacles, it's exactly what I has been telling you, and it's this unbalance between the rich and the poor, and the one that has and the one that doesn't have, and the one that has their crap together and the one that hasn't, and the mother and the children, the one that knows the rules and the one that doesn't, all these things, all these different polarities, and you need to find a balance within all of those, okay? So this is your past, and here you have the strength. So I was talking about Leo, and here Leo comes. Leo itself needs to learn to become like the ruler, but without being ruthless, to following their longing without trying to take control over other people's longing, to being the writer without writing people on their nose. So, and it might be something similar that you are doing, but in your area with the nourishment, food, nourishment, health, economy, things like this. You might be a little bit like dogmatic with your health rules or your vegan rules or your whatever rules it is that you're implying, that it can become like too controlled. So you need to be like the bigger soul here and see the bigger picture, and try to let loose a little bit of those rules. What are you so scared of? Okay, what is going to happen if you let go of control a little bit? And here is the hangman. And the hangman is this situation when you are stuck in something over and over again, so you can learn from it. So you're not allowed to move forward before you have learned this. For example, if you're very scared about eating toxic food, so you're trying to always have ecological food, and you can't eat certain things certain times at year, it's a good thing, of course. But when it starts to mess with your mental health or other people's mental health because you're driving them crazy going to the store, that's a problem. Okay, and you might need to, you know, it's what are you trying to control? This is sacrifice, this is letting go of control. It's something that's becoming a little bit crazy here, where you're taking something to like the the extreme, and people are starting to fear you a little bit because of these things. So they say, oh yeah, lovely, maybe you can buy for the dinner, and I will help you cook. Because they know that if they come home with the wrong things, you're chopping their little heads off. So I'm not saying that this is the same for all Taurus. I'm just giving an example, and this is what comes to mind, so I'm just going with it. So sacrifice some kind of control. You can't control. If you get poison in your system, you get poison in your system. We will all die one day. And if someone buys the wrong corn for dinner, it's better to be friends with them and to get the right corn. Okay, so we see here the devil. It's where you have said these poverty promises and decided I shouldn't be like this, it's a bad thing. So now it's coming out in another area where you are instead maybe controlling and like a little bit dark. You're scaring people. That's what I'm feeling, and you don't want to, because you know you are this sweet Buddha figure. But when you go crazy over small things like this, like health, food. I feel mostly health and food. I'm thinking about allergies, vaccines, things like this is what I'm seeing in my head. You might become a little bit both fearful, but also you are creating fear in your surrounding a little bit, because it's like you're scaring people a little bit with what you're saying. And it's okay. People needs to be scared, you know, to know that, okay, vaccine isn't good. It's making you becoming an allergic, and you can't eat the food, and it's becoming like this. But it's also, you need to, it's not the problem is not what you're preaching. The problem is that you're preaching it in a way that's very controlling. Okay, so that's, it's not the message, is how you're delivering this message that might be fearful of or controlling. So you're scared about something, or you are afraid to let go of control. So look at what will happen if you got the, like, if you would, someone would give you grapes, for example, and you know that these are so full of toxins. And you will, I can see your little face like becoming like a lemon, and you don't want those grapes now. And here we have the 9 of Pentacles. So it's something with your foundation, like with your self-love. It's something that I will try to feel what it is, because I'm also feeling a little bit scared now, and I'm feeling scared above my heart region. So it's like here on her. So what can it be? If someone comes with the wrong kind of food, why am I scared? I'm scared of dying, of course, but I'm also scared that they don't listen to me, and that they never hear me. So it might be that you're withdrawing into yourself because people doesn't listen, they don't hear you. You're trying to give them a message of wisdom, and they don't hear you. It's like talking to people that's both deaf and dumb, like you can't get in contact with them. So you're preaching for deaf ears is what I'm feeling. And this might be in your karma for a very, very, very long time. You might have been burned at stake, you know, imprisoned. Is what we're seeing here with the devil. You might have been tortured to change your ways. and still you want these people to listen. So you're very determined with your soul's mission to enlighten the world, and we need to give you like a badge of honor for that. But you also need to look into those fears. What is going to happen if they don't listen to you? What's going to happen if they don't hear your words or follow your prescriptions? What is that? What is happening within you then? So I think there's something buried here. Yes, of course, with the devil and the hangman, it's something buried. But what is it? Here you have the Seven of Wands. So I think you need to lighten up a little bit. I think that you feel like you're arguing towards windmills, and people are not listening. They're not getting it. It's fine. They don't need to get it. You're not. You don't have to save the whole world. I think you have taken a little bit too much on your shoulders, and maybe it's okay to have. Like, you don't have to have this stress. It's no hurry. What will happen will happen. I'm thinking about Martin Luther King here, and he said, I have been at the mountaintop. I've been there and I look down and I see that we were going to live in this paradise. And what he meant was equality between people, that is black and white and male and females all going to live side by side, and no one's going to rule the other. But he said also, I might not get there with you, but I have seen it and I'm pleased. So you need to let go of control like that. You can see the paradise, what you want for all of this. You want healthy people with good food and healthy insights in beautiful yoga positions, and this is what you want, and it's going to come eventually, but it might not happen during your lifetime, and you're not in a hurry. So Martin Luther King, I think he died 2 or 3 days after he said that. I might not be able to go there with you, and he wasn't, but he had come to peace with that. So I think you need to, and still standing up for what you think is right, but not in a way that you're scaring people and, you know, making them maybe shame them. Be more like a good, very good example. This is you have the Six of Wands. There you are a good example. This is the Seven of Wands. Six of Wands is Leo in Jupiter. This is Mars in Leo. Sorry. It's not Leo in Jupiter, it's Jupiter in Leo. So March in Leo. So you're really on the march here. You have something that you're very determined and you feel very lonely. So I guess Martin Luther King felt very lonely too, until he had these big crowds standing in front of him, and so I just think you need to kind of just voice those things, but without the fundamentalism, like, so you're not vegans, so you're eating dead animals. So, okay, people are going to wake up. It's just, they're not going to wake up now, and there's still going to be animals that's going to be tortured, and we are going to eat poisoned food and all this, but try to let go of the gruesome picture of it all, and keep your vision of the future clear instead, so you can make this happen instead of making this journey into such a fearful one. Okay, so, and here we have the Empress, the cow, and it comes underneath the lion. So it might be that you're dealing with a Leo person, or maybe a Capricorn is what I'm seeing as well. Or another Taurus, because it's a lot with Taurus here, but I'm thinking the divine wants to talk about you and your foundations, because you are a very highly spiritual creature, but very, very down to earth. So you have your feet deep down in the mud, and your thumbs are green and everything like this, and that's what's so spiritual with you, because you know that you need to go through the body, but with some of your square behaviors, you are forgetting about this, and you're becoming a little bit scared and controlled. But we'll see where it goes with this beautiful Empress here. The abundance, the earth, the nature, nourishment, health, newborn babies. And here we have the Four of Cups. You have the 3 here and the 12, so 12, 1 plus 2 is 3, so it's the Empress energy. And here you have the Emperor energy, 4, and it's the square, but it's where you're accepting. It's what I said with this Martin Luther King event, that he's accepting that he might not get what he wants, like for himself, but eventually it's going in this direction. So with the Four of Cups coming underneath the Hangman, it's a lot that you need to digest, a lot of control that you need to let go of. With Four of Cups, what's connected to the Emperor is the Fool, like new beginnings, but also death, endings. And this is what we see with big empires. They rise and they fall, rise and fall, rise and fall. You can't control this. It's not up to you to control this or control your next of kin or your lover or whatever it is. Try to start breathe, try to feel your hands relaxing, let go of control, let go of things, let go of stuff. Also old stuff that you are collecting, like old ways that you have been shamed and tortured. Those things you can't let them go really, because you're deeply traumatized here. You need to stay and digest it. Do yoga, mindfulness, meditation in that order. You can actually join me in my new subscription service. If you go to my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se and take the American flag or the Swedish flag, the British flag or the Swedish flag, whichever you prefer, with language, and you go to prescription service, and then you can see how to get this prescription. You can do this together with me. I'm starting this beginner service now for healing pains like this and all traumas. Or in other case, you just use what you know about yoga and mindfulness meditation. Go on YouTube, learn things, and just start to do it, okay? Here we have the Eight of Cups, so it's what I felt also with the Nine of Pentacles, that you kind of give up on people. If you can't change them, you give up on them. And that might not be the best course of action. Of course, if you have the devil as your friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, child, or parent, whatever it is, you might get very tired of them, and you need to put boundaries. It's the 8 again. So you need to be strong with them and maybe sacrifice friends, and so that's not good. And also, if you have children or parents that's not small children, of course, I mean grown-up children, if they can't learn the things that you want them to know, to not hurt you, and you need maybe to put some space between you and say, okay, so we can have a relationship again when you have learned to not borrow money from me, when you have learned that I have boundaries too, or when you respect my belongings, or whatever it is that you have been on the wrong foot about. So it might be also accepting that everyone can't be friends with you, because you want everyone on your side, you want them to be friends, you want them to know what you know, you want to save them also. And you can't save everybody. Sometimes you need to let them go and sacrifice them, and they will go like a little bit of a detour and learn their thing, and then they will come back to you maybe in another life. So you don't have to be so clingy with that either, that everyone needs to love you, everyone needs to look up to you. But also don't let them go too easy, because it's like your polarity, what I'm seeing, that either you are letting go too easy and you just let go and forget about everything that's worth something to you, or you are not being able to let go at all. So you need to decide for yourself which category you belong to. And here's the Tower, so a 9 of Pentacles. You have tried to get like peace of mind with leaving people behind, leaving situations behind, but it's also your own fears and your own control issues and things like this that you need to let go of. This is the Tower. The Tower is usually something needs to go, something needs to yield. For example, if you want everyone to love you because this is how you feel safe, then that needs to go. You can't be loved by everyone. You need to let that go. That tower needs to fall. And what you're back in is then your foundation, like your self-love, self-respect, things like this. So you can't get everyone to love you. And also if you try to control everyone to want them to like the same things you'd like, you need to let go of that control also and see what's left. Okay, I can do the best I can with being a good example, but I can't like make them. You can take the horse to the watering hole, but you can't force them to drink. Even if you know that it's going to take like 12 hours before they will be able to drink again, you still can't force them. So sometimes we know what's the best for people, but they still won't do it. It doesn't matter. They need to learn by their own mistakes that, okay, it will take a long time before I will be able to have a drink again or eat again or see you again or whatever it is. Next card here is the Sun. So it's Leo again, and it comes underneath Seven of Wands. That's Mars in Leo. And here we have also reference to Gemini with those two twins there. So I'm thinking there's some light that wants to come into this situation. We see this light of like flashes of light and this sunlight. So this energy, it's divine energy that wants to reach you, so you can do your divine work without being so worried or without being so high strung. You kind of need to accept more, digest more. Yes, and not accept like things. You don't have to let someone invade your space or your boundaries. That's your space, that's your boundaries. But if you have like where you are stepping onto other people's boundaries and trying to control also their things, that's where you need to, you know, withdraw to your space, what you can control. If you're trying to control the whole world, it's going to be very difficult. So this also might be people trying to control you, or that you're easily controlled, you're easily triggered by what people say to you, how they treat you, you read between the lines all the time and trying to understand what they are really saying. You might need to let go of that too. And don't read into things. If people want something with you, if they have a beef with you, let them say it to your face. So I think it came a little bit like Limp BIZKIT, Full Nelson there. Say it to my face. So if they don't come and say it to your face, don't bother. It doesn't, then it's no, you don't have a beef with them as long as they don't tell you. If you, it's many of you is very, very well raised. I can see this with the Hierophant and the Eight of Swords. You're too well raised. And 8 Strength, 8 of Cups, and the Devil and the Tower, they want you to be free. The Sun wants you to be free. The Seven of Wands wants you to be free. So don't bother. If people don't come to you directly and saying, I don't like this, what you do, then you don't have to worry about it or lose sleep about it or lose energy about it. You just, every time you think about it, you can think, okay, so if they're angry with me or if they're upset with me, if they don't think I did a good job, if they believe this and this and that, they need to come to me. I can't read their minds, because I'm thinking you're trying to read people's minds and adjust. And you can't read everyone's mind and adjust. You need to just read your own mind. and not even that. Stay in this blissful state of just no thinking and stillness. And digest what has been. Make your inner space to an habitable place. If you, every time you're alone, you're starting to think about some beef you have with someone, that's the devil in your life and trying to control you, let it go. Think, okay, so that might be the case, but since that's not a problem today and they are not at my doorbell, I let it go. And then you will start thinking about it again. And you say, okay, so yes, I'm really worried about that, but I can't really control it, so I let it go. And then you think about it again and you say, okay, so there you are again. Hello, my long and trusted friend. And you say, okay, you might have a beef with me, but if you have it, come and say it face to face. I'm not going to think about this now. And then you have to do it again and again and again. And this is what's enlightenment. Carry water and chop wood, because you're going to lose your consciousness again and again, and you need to reinstall it again and again. You need to be, okay, yes, I wasn't supposed to think about that. Now I'm going to feel my body and see what a mess I made with my thoughts. Now I'm upset. I have a high pulse. I heighten my blood pressure. I have a stomach ache and I want to cry. So that's what my thoughts made with my bodily system. And here you have the high priestess. So that's the, of course, one of the problems with why you have this problem that I talked about, because you're feeling so much. You're so in tune with your environment, feeling everything in your surrounding, and you know what's going on, but you don't have to care, okay? You don't have to care. Even if you can read people's mind and hear what they are saying, it doesn't matter, as long as they don't say it to your face. And if they say it to your face, you say, okay, so I'm sorry if I made you feel like that. It was never my intention, and this is how I really think and feel. So it doesn't have to be a problem. You're just making it into a problem because you are super sensitive. And why you are super sensitive is that you're very spiritual and you feel your body. So that's a good thing. But feel it and heal it. Don't feel it and, make it your slave by these gruesome thoughts. And, really, it's like you're playing car accident again and again. The same scenario over and over again here. So no one is... you don't have to bother if people have a beef with you, or no one deserves this amount of energy that you're putting into this, okay? And here we have the Seven of Pentacles. So it seems like something is moving very slow. You have the Hangman, Four of Cups, Seven of Pentacles. So initially I'm thinking it's healthy because you have the Strength here, Empress, High Priestess 2, 3, 8. You have 8 also there and there. So I'm thinking you are putting boundaries towards something and letting something go. But in the same time, I think you're longing for it. It was a reason to why you fall in love with this person, or it was a reason to why you made them your friend, or it was a reason why you wanted this work in the first place. But now you don't have it, and you need to accept it. And time will pass by, and you know what I said, that even if you lead a horse to the water hole, you can't make them drink. In due time, this person that you are so worried about is going to learn by their own experience, but it's nothing you can control. You can't do anything about this. You can't, if you're thinking that a person needs to become more healthy and starting to exercise, you can't run the mile for them. If you want them to eat more healthy food, you can't stuff their face with this food. And so on. You can't make them do whatever it is that you want, or see whatever it is that you see. So you just need to have patience and let it go. And the grass will grow on its own accord. When you let things rest, the spirit can do their work. So you have done a lot of work for now. And here your work is done, and it's up to nature to run its own course. And here you have a Knight of Cups. So it might be that some devilish... an energies soaking person from the past will come back to you here and want something from you. Might be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Capricorn is what I'm seeing. Might be any kind of earth person. Might be you also. Wants again to feel the breath of the devil, or the devil wants to have the breath of you in their face again. So it can be a reconciliation coming here, that someone wants to be friend again, and you might be a little bit suspicious of this. Well, have they really learned? That's the question. Next card is Judgment. So Judgment is this, what I said, let nature has its course. This is Judgment is a person that they have got something, some kind of eureka, at least with the Tower here. Maybe you started to show self-love, and they needed to do this too. So now they're coming around here. They have got some kind of message from your actions, and they're stepping up their game and making improvements. So Judgment is accepting like a verdict that, okay, I did something wrong and I need to fix it. Or it can also be forgiveness and reconciliation, or the dead is rising. This is the blast from the past, and this is the dead is rising. So I guess you are waiting for someone, and this person seems to come back to you. But it might be both what you want, but also what you fear. Of course, you hope for this person to have learned a thing or two, but you can't be sure, and you don't want to start everything all over and become this in this hopeless state again, feeling like, well, you are in a dry desert zone, and you can't give anything more because everything is already given away, and they have stolen everything from you, and now you're a wasteland that needs to heal and put their pieces together again. And here we have the Star card. So it says that this situation actually can heal, and it's a beautiful beautiful row here. It's the 15, the Devil, 16, the Tower, 17, the Star. 1 plus 7 is also 8, the Strength card. So the whole reading ties together here with this Star card. Star comes also underneath the Sun, which is also a star, but in our solar system, it's our soul in our solar system. This is other souls. So I'm thinking you are tied together with another soul that you feel is they are troubling you. It might also be for your cross watchers. It might also be the other way around, of course, that it's the Taurus that's troubling you and stealing your energy. But you're still supposed to work together. You're still soul family. We saw the King of Cups in the beginning. This person belongs to your soul family. So you can toss them away, but you can't stop loving them. So that could be a good thing to also say to them, I love you, but I can't tolerate the things that you're doing. So you need to stop that or work on stopping it, and we can rekindle whenever you feel that you have made some kind of progress, because this is wearing on me. So it's a lot of hope here in this reading, but of course I'm feeling fearful because this is very optimistic. So a person will come and say, "Well, I'm fixed, I'm healed, I have figured it out, and I want to reconcile with you, and I know now exactly." And they say the right words, and you get your hopes up, and we don't know what's happening then. But I feel that you're fearing this, but it's just that you see to imply the rules, that it needs to be equal, it needs to be grown up, it needs to be like adult people need to take responsibility for their own actions. So then it will fix itself. It won't be such a big problem. My dear Taurus, I will take a Wisdom of the Oracle Divination card for you. Only one. That one, thank you. No place like home. Yes, I'm seeing that you're retreating to your home here when everything else is a burden. But it might also be a person that feels like home for you, even though they are the Devil. So, the Devil, you know, all this. No place like home. So, authenticity. Coming home to yourself, feeling at home. Arriving at a place where you just fit, being comfortable in your own skin. So this is what you need to work on here with the 4 of Cups. Home feels safe and secure. It's a comfortable place to rest and create, a place that is known and you can call yours. This card signals that your ability to trust yourself and feel at home in your own skin is beginning to solidify as you claim your dignity and integrity. Aspects of yourself no one can take away from you. You know who you are. You hold your head high, yet with neither pride nor humility. Instead, you stand as the observer, seeing through the eyes of your soul, with the High Priestess there. This puts you in a position of power and strength. Authenticity is your home. You're safe here in the house of your spirit and spirit. It's a small spirit and big spirit. So your lower and higher self. Lovers, friends, and companion animals are at home in your life right now. You are in sync and full of love, and you can be secure in the knowledge that this is reciprocated. Relationships enlists a sense of emotional safety, comfort, and the best aspects of familiarity. Now, be home in this relationship. Together, you add to the love of the world. When you act in authentic way, you command the world to reflect back to you exactly what is in your highest good. Your business choices and the investment you make and the creative projects you immerse yourself in are powerfully on point. Why? Because when you are fully yourself, radically accepting everything in your journey to date, both success and failures, you will see the divinity in all things. Abundance is a natural progression when you experience this kind of an authenticity. There are times when what is familiar and known is not the best choice, however. Human beings are memory-driven creatures, and we all look for certainty for what we know, even if the qualities we seek in other people and in external conditions are expressed in unhealthy ways. Avoid being too eager to find home. Choose something unfamiliar and trust that there you will find a new normal that supports your spirit. Remember, if you do what you did, you'll get what you got. Do the opposite of what feels right, even if it's uncomfortable, because what feels right is really what feels familiar, and you will attract and be drawn to the very things you don't want anymore. This time will not be different unless you do something different. So I think that was a very good card for this reading. I think it sums it all up in a beautiful way, wrapping like a big pink ribbon around it all. So beautiful card. Okay, so Wild Kuan Yin Oracle for my dear Taurus. Just one. Wild Kuan Yin Oracle for my dear Taurus viewers. Okay, I will do this. Belled by path before you. I felt like a tune, so this is the right one. 6, number 6. 5 and 6. You're much with counting now. 15, 16, 17, and 5 and 6. Belled by the path before you. Be led by the path before you, of course. Sorry. You may wonder if you are on the right path. You may have a choice to make and are uncertain as to which decision will be the right one for you. I scatter petals to scent the wind and blessing to reveal the way. Though at times you may fear that you are being led astray, trust in your unfolding life journey, for the path before you is the one I have blessed. Spiritually, we can sometimes make the most progress when physically there appears to be least things happening. When the divinity of our path is hidden under ordinary day-to-day hard work and not quite feeling like you are there yet moments, we are building our spiritual muscles: faith, courage, trust, determination, commitment, patience, and serenity. When these spiritual muscles grow strong enough, the physical world responds to their exertion by taking shape and responding to that inner power. Then there is a feeling that our soul is coming to life in the world, manifesting our heart's desire before our eyes, confirming that our faith and patience have been expressions of wisdom. You may need a reminding that you are on your path. You are right in your sense that there is a greater purpose calling you forwards. Do not fall into the trap of imagining there is some other way to get there. However, you have not made some error simply because your life doesn't necessarily look or feel the way you imagined it would be at this point. You may fear sometimes, but there is a great hand guiding your course, and it's safe to trust it. Okay, so I think that was also a very good message, because there's a lot of boredom here, but it's for you to digest what you have been through in the past. So when spirits sometimes make you all alone, it's because you need to be more with spirits and have more time to spend inside your own self and making your home, your body, livable and lovable. Okay, so work a lot with your own health and maybe do this yoga, mindfulness, meditation. Also go to healing, Reiki healing, maybe to fix this all traumas, and so you don't have to repeat it anymore. Actually, I think you will become, if you do the work right, you will become allergic to this certain persons that you, or their behavior rather, this certain behavior that is repeating and repeating in your life, and you will be allergic to it, so you will be starting to automatically say no. That is why the fear comes in here, because you're actually starting to feel that you don't want this kind of things anymore. But it doesn't mean that you need to sacrifice the person. I think that when you change, your world will change. When you change, you will mirror other things within that person. So they might not have the problem that they gave you before. They showed this personality trait to you before because you mirrored it. And when you're not mirroring it anymore, they will stop. So that's why you can't change others. You can change yourself, and by that you change what other will reflect towards you. Okay, my dear Taurus, I hope this helped. I want you to take really good care, and I welcome you back to my mid-month reading for March that I will perform in the beginning of March. So take really good care until then. Bye bye.